Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
If we were white, if we were Irish, if we were Jewish, if we were Poles, if we had, in fact, in your mind, a frame of reference, our heroes would be your heroes too. Nat Turner would be a hero for you instead of a threat. Malcolm X might still be alive. And everyone is very proud of brave little Israel, a state against which I have nothing. I don't want to be misinterpreted. I'm not an anti-Semite. But when the Israelis pick up guns, or the Poles, or the Irish, or any white man in the world says, give me liberty or give me death, the entire white world applauds. When a black man says exactly the same thing, word for word, he is judged a criminal and treated like one, and everything possible is done to make an example of this bad nigger so there won't be any more like him.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. And also click the link in the description. Go to Telegram if you've been having any type of notification issues, and make sure you join the Telegram so we can help combat that. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click the other link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, welcome back to another one. When I was younger, and I was working within the industry, and I was working with different artists, either as a producer, a writer, or for any reason. Whenever I was working with different artists, I would hear conversations all the time. I would hear a lot of conversations. Some of the conversations that I've heard was about, getting certain artists to certain parties in order to test their will. That's one thing. And then another thing that was basically not even a close, it was an open secret for many people who've worked in the industry and still deal with people in the industry to this day. They can tell you that there's always been this rumor about how the music industry is working hand in hand with the private prison industrial complex in order to spew the minds of the younger generation, make them want to be like the people they see that's being promoted. So all the thugs, the gangsters, the hustlers, all that stuff, so that they can put themselves in the way of trouble, so that they can then go to jail. And for a long time, people have been talking about this contract that states have with private prisons. And many of the folks who have fought against this, who have brought this information to light, had made it very clear that this is a problem. And why it's a problem? It's because many of these states have contracts. And these contracts that they have with these private prisons guarantees these private prisons that they will have a certain amount of inmates to be sent to those prisons. Now I don't want to even say starting. Now everyone is starting to see that those rumors back in the day wasn't just rumors, wasn't nowhere near just rumors, because the private prisons are coming out and making it very known that they're not just rumors. As a matter of fact, these same private prisons are coming out suing different states that they have contracts with in order to pay for the lack of inmates within their facilities. Now, family, this brings up a whole lot of questions. Namely, the biggest question that it would raise, and it may seem like it doesn't make any sense to the person who don't really want it to make sense. So the Nabiscos, they won't even think about things like this. But if the prisons are suing the states because of the lack of people, inmates, that's hitting their beds, so they're losing money, that would kind of tell you that basically crime isn't up the way that people are saying crime is up. More so than that, what is actually showing everyone is that the crime statistics isn't really accurate at all. And for every Nabisco, white supremacist, scumbag, knuckle dragging, wolf humping piece of trash that tries to say the bulk of the people that are locked up, or the bulk of the people who get arrested for crime, are Black Americans, this would go to show you that that's not true. But I want to touch on this article. This isn't going to be a long one, but it will be a good one. But before we get there, let's do what we do. Got to give a B1 salute, a shout out and shalom to our sister Andrea Jones in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Our sister Aquarius Minded in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. My good sister Eddie Foster in the building. My brother, thank you for being here. Our brother Reparations Nation is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. And I saw your dogs and some beautiful, beautiful dogs, my brother. Beautiful dogs. Shout out to our brother Black RU in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Shout out to our brother Jesse Paris in the building. Thank you for being here. Shalom to you, my good brother. Zavon Scott is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, my good brother. Our sister Stolen Ancestors is in the building. Much love to you. And thank you for being here, my sister. I got your email and I'm going to look over it once I get back over there to the hospital. Let's continue here. Shout out and shalom to our sister Key Prince in the building. Much love to you. Let me see. Our good brother Marvin C is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. Want to make sure we got everybody. Our sister Yasmin is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Our sister Hurricane Nisi is in the building. Much love to you, my sister. Thank you for being here. You is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Our good brother Black Truth United is in the building. Much love to you, my good brother. Thank you for being here, as well as thank you for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good brother. Sean C is in the building. Much love to you, my sister. Thank you for being here. Shalom to you. Our brother Still Kevin Trees is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Our sister Angelic is in the building. Much love to you, my sister. Shalom. Thank you for being here. All right. And everybody who's not in the chat, thank you for being here. And everybody who's going to catch this in a replay, thank you for being here. Now let's get into this article, shall we? Oh, I didn't even, that is my bad. Give me 1 second, family. Give me 1 second. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Just 1 second, family. This right here that switched up all my settings. I don't know why, but they did. All right. So let's go here, family. So I saw this article a little bit back and I put it in my save category because I wanted to talk about this for a while. However, let's get into it. How private prisons sued the state of Arizona for not having enough prisoners. We don't care if people aren't breaking the law. Fill up our prisons with inmates or we'll sue. Let's get into it. In 2010, a significant legal battle erupted in Arizona, highlighting the controversial practice of prisoner quotas in private prison contracts. Management and Training Corp, MTC, a private prison company, sued the state of Arizona for failing to provide enough prisoners to meet the contractual quota stipulated in their agreement. Why is there contractual quotas? Very good question. The lawsuit centered around the Marina Prison, a 400-bed facility operated by MTC. The contract between MTC and Arizona, including a provision guaranteeing 97% occupancy. That's 97% occupancy. When the state failed to meet this quota, MTC sought $10 million in damages, claiming financial losses due to the shortfall in prisoner numbers. Family. Lower crime should be a good thing. Lower crime should be a good thing. But when it comes to these businesses, this corporation, really the industry in itself of private prisons, it's not. It's a hindrance. So when you're seeing all of these people coming out talking about black crime, one might have to ask, are you being paid to now push the propaganda of black crime? Because we know who's affected the most when it comes down to over policing. Already, it's us. And for all the Nabisco supremacists out there who said if you didn't do the crime, you wouldn't be doing the time, this article is showing you whether you did the crime or not, they have incentives to put people there. 97% occupancy. This case brought national attention to the practice of lockup quotas or occupancy. I don't know why I keep mispronouncing that. Occupancy. It sounds like I'm saying something totally different. A guarantee clause, in private prison contracts. These clauses typically require states to keep prisons filled to a certain capacity, often 90% or higher, or pay for empty beds. Family, there should never be a situation where the government in any state should be paying private prisons because they have empty beds. The whole point of sending people to jail is to punish them for something that they did and then make sure they never do it again. But if they're not doing the crimes, if there are not any crimes being done, if the crime rate is dropping, that should be a good thing for the state. That should be a good thing federally. The pure fact that they're sitting here saying we don't care if crime is down. Find a reason to get inmates put in there. And when they find reasons, guess who they tend to find more deserve to go there? Family, with all the dang things, and I don't know if y'all follow the good brother Red Joker on his I Expose Pedos and Racist page. But if you don't, go and follow him on X. Because that brother's page details all these different Nabiscos that are doing so many heinous crimes. And they're getting slaps on the wrist to where they're not even being sent to prisons. A year, 18 months, where they can do that time in county. They're doing everything. Shout out to our sister Shamika Gray in the building. Yeah, you knew exactly what I was talking about. That old James Bond movie. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here, my sister. Shalom. But family, this right here shows us that, hey, this isn't really about restitution. This isn't really about rejuvenizing or just making a person understand their faults so that they never want to go back there again. No. It's not about none of that. It's all about, hey, you got quotas over here. You got quotas over here. And if you don't get me what you contractually owe me, you're going to have to pay me hard cash. Shout out to our sister Key Prince. She said, nope, it's about the 16th Amendment and modern day slavery. Oh, you once again jumping ahead of the curve. Jumping ahead of the curve. We ain't gotten there yet, sis, but shout out to you for already know where we're going with it. That's exactly what this is all about. Shout out to our brother John's son. Thank you for being here. The bottom line is ruthless, unjust, yet it's protected by the justice system. Peace to church and the family, all day family. And this is, here's another situation here. A lot of judges have stock in, guess what? Private prisons. So you have judges who have stocks in private prisons. And then they get a case where a brother or a sister come before them for a minor crime, and they'll give them football numbers. But then a Nabisco can come in for the same crime as the brother and sister, and they'll give them 8 months. If that. All to prevent them from going to these prisons. They do the same thing with our young brothers and sisters every chance they get. And when I mean our young brothers and sisters, I mean people who are under 18 years old. This is what is happening. Nothing is about justice. It's about patting the pockets of corporations and the stockholders of that said corporation. Shout out to our sister Cooking with Miss D. Shalom to you and thank you for being here, my good sister. Such practices have been identified in numerous contracts across the United States, with a 2013 report finding that 65% of private prison contracts reviewed contain language mentioning prison quotas. Shout out to Drew Laston. Thank you for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good brother. Top private prisons in the United States. Core Civic. Family, keep that in mind. That private prison company there. Core Civic. Formerly Corrections Corporations of America. Operates 65 correctional facilities. The total capacity of more than 80,000 beds. The GEO group, or GEO group. Let's just go. They're all capitalized, so I'm just guessing it's GEO, but it could be GEO group as well. Operates 57 facilities, total capacity of 49,000 offender beds. We're going to look over this other report in another date, but this report here is the incarceration rate of Louisiana is over 5 times higher than Saudi Arabia. The Arizona case is not isolated. Similar situations have occurred in other states, though not always resulting in lawsuits. For instance, Colorado paid private prison companies for more than 2,000 empty beds in 2013 due to the occupancy guarantee. Critics argue that these quotas create perverse incentives within the criminal justice system. And they do. Very much so. They contend that each contractual obligation may influence incarceration rates and criminal justice policies, potentially leading to higher imprisonment rates to fulfill contractual obligations rather than serve public safety needs. Where's the lie? Defenders of private prisons, however, argue that these facilities provide cost-efficient solutions to overcrowding and offers rehabilitation programs. Well, God dang it, why can't the state build more facilities so that they won't be overcrowding? They could offer rehabilitation programs. Shout out to Yasmin. Thank you for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, family. They can actually, hell, you ain't even got to build new prisons. You can just take over the private prisons by eminent domain. And then the private prison will become state prisons, and that'll be that. Oh, but nobody wants to think about that, right? Because they're too busy trying to pack the pockets of billionaires and all of their stockholders. Let's continue. Shout out to Austin Kelch. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. They maintain that the use of private prisons have been a bipartisan approach, a bipartisan approach. So don't just go blaming Republicans. Don't just go blaming the Democrats. This is a bipartisan approach to addressing issues in the public correctional system. I don't see how. Especially with very little oversight. Especially with very little oversight. And shout out to Cooking with Miss D. I'm going to answer that question towards the end of this because I kind of want to finish this. But to answer your question, things are coming back good. We're just trying to figure out the cause of situations. But thank you for that, my sister. Let's continue. The controversy surrounding prisoners' quotas has led to increased scrutiny of private prison contracts. I don't know what's going on with me right now. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. All right. The controversy surrounding prisoner quotas has led to an increase in scrutiny of private prison contracts. Some states have begun to reconsider their reliance on private facilities, with a few moving to reduce or eliminate their use altogether. Yes, that would be perfect. That would be great. That would be grand. However, other states have increased their dependency on private prisons. Now, this is what our good sister Key Prince was just bringing to light. Several corporations in the United States have reported to use prisoner labor. Several corporations in the United States have been reported to use prisoner labor. Now, my question would have to be, do any of these corporations have stock in those prisons? One would say most likely they do. Salute and shalom to our sister I Am Kiera in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Let's go over some of these companies, shall we? Walmart utilizes prison labor for manufacturing products and for supply chain operations. McDonald's uses prison labor to produce uniforms and other items. Victoria's Secret, owned by Lex Wessner, the very same dude who put Jeffrey Epstein on. Not just that, but Bed Bath & Beyond has used prison labor for manufacturing lingerie. Oh man. I just had a freaking vision that I I really didn't need of prisoners in there trying on the lingerie before they ship it out. Anyway, I digress. Y'all better be careful, ladies. AT&T employs prisoner labor for call center operations. Call center operations. So you tell me that these prisoners can't pick up the phone to call their family whenever they want because they miss their family, but they damn sure have the ability to pick up the phone as a call center operator. That is wild. Shout out to Kiera. Wash before wearing. You ladies better do so. I tell ladies all the time, I would veer out of Victoria's Secret for your undergarments and your lingerie. Find somewhere else that got good undergarments and lingerie, because when you're supporting Victoria's Secret, in my opinion, allegedly, you're supporting sex trafficking. That's how I feel. That's what I know it to be, because Jeffrey Epstein was so in tie with Lex Wessner, and Lex Wessner sold Jeffrey Epstein all three of his houses. Well, no, he sold him his brownstone in New York, and then he sold him the mansion that he had in South Beach, and both of them was already equipped with god dang surveillance cameras and things like that. And then he sold him his private jet, all for $1. And some of Epstein's girls came from those Victoria's Secrets modeling gigs. So, ladies, I would veer away from Victoria's Secret if possible. But let's continue. Starbucks uses prisoner labor for packing products. Microsoft, Bill Gates, utilizes prisoner labor for refurbishing and recycling electronic equipment. Family, where are these people getting the training for this? Don't you need to be a computer scientist in order to be certified to be able to refurbish computers? My mother was a computer engineer for 10 years. What she do now? She take in broken computers, she refurbish them, and then she sells them, or she'll fix your broken computer for a said cost. That's what her business does now. So there's a lot of intellect that has to go into refurbishing computers. That's crazy. I don't want to say it's crazy, but it's crazy that you're allowing inmates to do this with no degrees, but on the outside, you need to have a degree to do so, unless it's your own computer. But let's continue. Boeing. Oh, the people who built the planes? What do they use it for? Let's see. Engages prison labor for manufacturing parts. Okay. Could that be the reason why some of those planes started going down? I digress. Nordstrom's uses prison labor for product manufacturing. Target employs prison labor for manufacturing and packing. Whole Foods uses prison labor for packing products. BP utilizes prison labor for various operations. Isn't BP an oil company? Isn't BP an oil company? Okay. Caterpillar engages prison labor for manufacturing parts. Chevron with Techron uses prison labor for various operations. Another oil company. Yeah, it's a gas station, but it's also an oil company. What is it? BP owns AMPM, if I'm correct. BP owns the AMPMs along with other gas stations, but I believe the most famous one is BP. I mean, AMPM. Eddie Bauer. I used to work for Eddie Bauer when I was younger. Employs prison labor for manufacturing products. Kmart uses prison labor for manufacturing and packing. And that's the end of that article there. Family, the quotas, like our sister said, it's all about the labor. It's all about the slave labor taking place. And who's a victim of those quotas? The ex-slaves. Let's go to this article here, because when they asked whether or not, well, not really asked, when they said that the states are debating moving away from using private prisons, and I said it would be a good thing, we're about to get into one of the major reasons why. Excuse me. Before we get there, let me play this real quick so I can I can get me some water real quick. Shout out to our brother Black Alpha, excuse me. Shout out to Black Alpha too, but shout out to our brother Black Truth United and the B1 Rolodex. Let's go.
Introducing the B1 Rolodex, the easiest way to search for and support FBA and B1 businesses. Hundreds of entries from the Black grassroots for the Black grassroots. Free to use, free to download, constantly updated. Trouble navigating the document? Try using the map version. Notice a business missing? Use this simple Google form to submit an FBA or B1 business. Also submit anti-Black businesses, which are now being collected in that last tab. Find resources, contact numbers, and much more using the second tab. All the info you need to start practicing group economics today. Go to blacktruthunited.com. That's blacktruthunited.com.
B1 salute once again to our good brother Black Truth United for all the hard work that he does with the B1 Rolodex. Make sure you check it out and make sure you keep it handy and dandy right next to you whenever you need it. Now, shout out to our brother once again for this comment. Interesting how YT owns companies have access to his free/low wage labor. Absolutely, my good brother. And this is the reason why I said we should move away from it too. These folks out in New Jersey has a bill. Let me just go here, family. Let's go here because it gets his day in court. Contested New Jersey law banning private immigration jails gets its day in court. Banning private immigration jails. Oh, you can ban private immigration jails. You can put together bills to ban private immigration jails, but you don't want to ban private prisons altogether? Oh, if you're an illegal, don't worry. We're going to make sure you don't have to deal with private immigration jails. But if you're a citizen, oh, no. You're going to a private prison. Let's get into it. This is from May. Core Civic. So they can't say, oh, this is totally different. No, it's the very same company. The very same company that operates 65 correctional facilities with a total capacity of 80,000 beds. So let's get into it. This is Philadelphia. I don't know why it's written in Philadelphia, but god dang it, New Jersey monitoring. What's going on here? Let's get into the article and find out. Philadelphia, I don't know why it says it, but okay. A federal appeals panel heard arguments Tuesday in a high-stakes legal battle over a controversial New Jersey law that bans immigration detention facilities run by anyone other than the federal authorities. A move private prison companies say hampers the federal government's immigration enforcement. Solicitor General Jeremy, I'm gonna tear this up. Frauenbaum. Jeremy, the general, excuse me, from the state office of the Attorney General argued that the law doesn't ban detention facilities altogether, and that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security or Immigration and Customs Enforcement could build or lease a facility and operate it themselves without it substantially interfering in enforcement efforts. Interesting. The law says, consider what's available, including to buy or lease private facilities. That's the preference, he said. They can buy or lease facilities today and operate it themselves. They can buy or lease the Elizabeth Detention Center itself. And then, if it's not there, go build your own. And I'm gonna say this. They don't have to even, work with these folks. So why work with these folks? Like it said, you can purchase the facility. You can use eminent domain. So why is it so important to have a relationship with private prisons and private detention centers? Now, you can't just say private detention centers and not try to remove the private prisons as well. That's against the equal protection under the law as well. At the heart of the case is a 2021 state law prohibiting private companies as well as local, county, or state governments from renewing or signing new contracts to operate federal immigration detention centers. Oh, so it's all about just federal detention centers. Why not prohibit them from dealing with private prison companies in general? Overall, equal footing. And to tell you the truth, You would think that you would want, if you're going to do private prisons, you would think that you would want the illegals in those private prisons. Don't these folks run around talking about they do the jobs that we don't want to do? Now, there's several jobs that I saw on that list here that many people have no problem doing. But if you're going to utilize slave labor, shouldn't the people be those same people that they were claiming came here for better opportunities? Now, granted, that opportunity would be behind bars, but at least they still be working. They still be contributing to the economy, correct? And they'll make their little pennies on the dollar. That's just my thought. Just my thought. Let's go back here. Core Civic, the private prison company that runs the Elizabeth Detention Center, sued the state over the law, charging it violates the supremacy clause. Not white supremacy, huh? Well, I'm white and I'm say so, basically. That's the supremacy clause he's saying. Not the federal supremacy clause. But anyway, I'm just joking. Anyway, it violates the supremacy clause by interfering with the immigration enforcement. And it kind of does. However, the Elizabeth Jail is the only facility statewide now in use for federal immigration detention. A federal judge in 2023 struck down the part of the law that bars private companies from detaining immigrants, and the state appealed. The appeal was heard Thursday after 18 months of waiting, and on the heels of a different private company announcing plans to open up a new immigrant jail in Newark. A decision is likely months away. During the 2-hour hearing at the James A. Bourne U.S. Courthouse, the panel of 3 judges hammered both sides with tough questions. U.S. Third Circuit Judge Cheryl Ann Cross called it a complex, very interesting case. I don't know what's so complex about it. I don't. Unless you're talking about citizens. But they're not. It becomes complex when you start talking about illegals, which once again benefit who? All of these things that we're talking about today benefit the corporations. Private prisons benefit corporations. The contracts that they have with these private companies benefit corporations. And keeping illegals in the country benefits corporations. But when you're talking about citizens, it's not so complex anymore, is it? You got states having to pay out these jails for not holding on to those quotas, while simultaneously fighting to keep these illegals out of those beds so they don't have to do those quotas. I digress. Let's continue. Shout out to our brother Christopher Ellis in the building. Much love to you, my good brother. Thank you for being here. Outside, activists gathered to voice support for immigrants in a legal fight expected to determine the scope of federal immigration detention in New Jersey. They held signs arguing the government to stop kidnapping people. See what I'm saying? This is nonsense. Forgenbaum, a Fagenbaum, excuse me, told the appellate court judges that the law does not bar federal authorities from detaining immigrants in New Jersey. Instead, it just doesn't allow them to contract the facilities to a private company. If Congress passed a law laying out a private right to provide detention for the companies like Core Civics, then this is an easy case, he said. The way our law handles, excuse me. Sorry, family. It is allergy season for me, so I'm over here sneezing, coughing, all kind of stuff. The way our law handles competing burdens on private interests is by letting Congress make that choice, he said. U.S. Third Circuit Judge Stephanos Bibas, what is up with these names, yo? Peppered him with hypotheticals like whether a state could ban the U.S. Mint from hiring private contractors to print money or prohibit defense contracts from building muntions for the Department of Defense. Fagenbaum, said those cases would depend on how the hypothetical law is written. Okay, well, god dang it, the hypothetical law, god dang it, it's a simple question. It's a very simple question. Would that stop the federal government, the Mint, from contracting private businesses in order to help them with their minting? Because if it would not, then you can't do the same thing here. Because in case people don't know, the federal government contracts a lot of their work and their product to private companies. The New Jersey law doesn't regulate immigration detention. That's ICE's job, but rather the market for prison services, Fagenbaum emphasized. Core Civics team countered that the law would be a nightmare for immigration enforcement, which has ramped up drastically, under President Donald Trump's second term in office. Without immigration detention centers in North Jersey, closed to international airports, federal authorities would have to detain people in other states and spend hours transporting them to further localities, said Bradley Simmons, Core Civics attorney. Shout out to Wild Williams in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. The federal government has exclusive jurisdiction over immigration enforcement, and this is putting a major roadblock in their efforts to do their job in the state of New Jersey, and would absolutely have a catastrophic effect on a whole area, he said. The judge questions whether New Jersey's law would increase the Fed's immigration enforcement costs. If the New Jersey statute went into effect, it would have enormous cost but it goes way beyond cost. The whole analyst, the impact it will have, Simmons said. Attorney McCrae, Neuenmeister, representing the U.S. Department of Justice, said states can't regulate the relationship between the federal government and companies it's contracted with, and they can't. She also noted the government uses private contractors all the time for all sorts of things. Absolutely. Here in Texas, I'm trying to get a private contract for hauling, and then another sector of a business that I'm trying to put together now, which is landscaping, because right now, all throughout Texas, I see a bunch of goddamn Mexicans and people I don't think are really, you know what I'm saying, supposed to be getting these contracts. But yeah, they deal with, from the very low levels to the very high levels, the government contracts private businesses to do jobs. And you're not going to see anybody going against it. There are all sorts of functions that the government relies on contractors for various reasons. The reason here, excuse me, the reason here are in order to ensure flexibility and for cost savings, she said. Here they go. After the hearing, Dante, why are all these people with all these weird names in government, in private business? This is just, I don't know. Dante, we're just going to say Dante. Damn this. Not even going to try to read that. Of the New Jersey Alliance for for Immigrant Justice, said he wasn't persuaded by Core Civic's arguments that the law would wreak havoc. I was baffled that they said the law would be caused of separating families. What about all the people that are separated from their families in those private prisons? I was baffled that they said that the law would be the cause of separating families, the cause of separating communities. Not the fact that there was a detention center there in our community profiting off of their incarceration. So nobody's worried about American citizens while private prisons are profiting off of their incarceration. No. Y'all only worried about it. Y'all only want to remove things for your precious illegals. Really? Damn the separation of families when it comes to the citizens. Damn the fact that private companies are making money off of the citizens. Damn the fact that other private companies are working with that private company in order to get cheap to free slave labor from those companies. Interesting. I'm going to be honest with you. You and me both, Miss D. You and me both. This is just ridiculous. So yeah, if you're going to remove, and I'm watching this case very closely, because if you're going to remove private immigration jails, then you got to remove private prisons in general. Period. If you could do it for a bunch of people that ain't supposed to be here, you could damn sure do it for the citizens of this goddamn country. Otherwise, all you're saying is that it's okay to exploit American citizens, but not illegals. I want to go to this clip here. And this clip is of a woman by the name of Whitney Webb. If you do not know who this woman is, she is a journalist. And she is, I'm not going to say the best, but she's a damn good journalist, because I know a lot of other journalists who are better than her. But still, she's a damn good journalist, especially when you're talking about subjects like this, as well as the Epstein situation. Whitney Webb has broken down the correlations of not just Lex Wessner and his dealings with Jeffrey Epstein, but all the subcontract companies that worked with Jeffrey Epstein, that had ties to Jeffrey Epstein, all the different scientists and things like that. So if you're interested in getting any of that information, I would highly suggest that you look into Whitney Webb. Full warrant, she is a Nabisco. Just to let you know. Let's go here, family.
Hip-hop gangster rap being orchestrated by record companies for the benefit of private prisons. And this is really, I would argue, part of a much larger scandal here, because if you're familiar with Gary Webb in the Dark Alliance about crack cocaine exploding involving CIA and the Iran-Contra network, you have weapons flooding these areas, you have drugs flooding these areas. Why is that significant? Well, the Promise Software scandal I mentioned earlier is very complex again, but one of the main players in that is Wackenhut. And another one of the main players in that is MCA, the Music Corporation of America. Basically, its subsequent iterations come to dominate hip-hop in that period. And Wackenhut, which is now Geo Group, is was then and still is now one of the main private prison companies in the U.S. And then Clinton passes the crime bill that, in 1994, that basically makes all of these things offenses and makes it much easier
floods the prisons
to fill the prisons. And what are some of the companies that end up using prison labor around this time? Well, Leslie Wexner's Victoria's Secret is one. And another company that I believe still uses it is General Dynamics, which is Lester Crown's company. Lester Crown being one of the mega group guys, some of the biggest corporations in the world. One of them is Walmart, which has longstanding ties to the Clinton family, the Waltons. It's free slave labor.
Free slave labor, yeah.
Hip-hop gangster rap being orchestrated.
Shout out to our brother Iron Will in the building. Much love to you, my good brother. Hey, whether she kisses the dog in the mouth, that's none of my concern at this point in time. Just give me the information. She can go home and kiss Rufus in the mouth and pet him and let him sleep in the bed with her, and you know what I'm saying, rub up his little thing against her back, all that. Shout out to our good brother. Oh, family. So at the end of the day, family, all of this, and I mean all of this, it just really goes to show that all this nonsense about high crime rates in the Black community, Black on Black crime, it all has a purpose. And that's why, even though we continue to debunk that god dang narrative, that myth, they keep on utilizing the same term. It's because they're basically trying to tell them folks who to be going for to put into these prisons. They're sending out a dog whistle, if you will, to the folks to say, hey, lock these folks up. While simultaneously trying to get or talk about justice for the Nabisco. These folks are so unserious when they talk about oppression because this is the very definition of oppression. I want to go here in closing, family. Heads up, it's another Nabisco.
The black on black crime argument was always racist propaganda. Notice how people never use the black on black crime argument to actually point out systemic oppression, but only as a tool to dismiss any grievances that the black community might have about systemic oppression. Same way they responded to the Black Lives Matter movement with All Lives Matter, in an attempt to dismiss the disproportionate police brutality that the black community has experienced for generations. They use black on black crime to reinforce the age-old white supremacist propaganda that black people are more violent, more threatening to society. Basically, they're saying, why should we even care that police may or may not be brutalizing them if black people do it to their own communities? And I know a couple simple-minded people might be listening to this and going, so are you saying that black people never commit crimes? No, you silly goose. Crimes are committed across every community, and that's the point. You never hear anybody arguing about white on white crime or Asian on Asian crime, Hispanic on Hispanic crime, etc., but they're super quick to throw around the phrase black on black crime. Whenever the black community speaks out against socioeconomic injustice and abuse, they never use this argument to advocate for black people, only against black people. It's a protest to a protest. This phrase is only ever used to argue in bad faith and to perpetuate the character assassination of black people. A creator on YouTube named Antonio Speaks just did a video on this recently, so you guys should definitely go check him out. He does excellent work. So the next time someone tries to use this phrase in a debate, just remember, the black on black crime argument was always racist propaganda. No.
And that's what it is. It's propaganda, but it's very effective when it comes down to the people that they target from that propaganda. Shout out to our sister Val Hawkins in the building. Much love to you, my good sister. Thank you for being here. These folks know damn well who the real criminals are, and they're refusing to put them where they belong. And because they're refusing to put them where they belong, now these private prisons have some occupancy in their beddings. And since they have that, now they're wanting their money. Family, don't let nobody tell you that we're anything outside of foundational Black Americans. We are great. We're fantastic. The crime rate is showing it. The goddamn prison systems is showing it. Think about what the prison said here. Let me go back here because it's very important. We don't care if people aren't breaking the law. Fill up our prison with inmates or we'll sue. Think about that. To be honest with you, family, this, if it was a fair and just America, this would be considered collusion. This would be considered collusion. Private companies colluding with the states in order to put people in jail, even though there's no real need for them to be in jail. There are no upticks in people breaking the law. You're going after people just for the smallest things possible in order to fulfill your need to fulfill a contract. That's collusion if I ain't never heard of it. But family, I just wanted to bring this to you because, like I said, it's very interesting. When it comes to us, they don't have problem with private prisons. But when it comes down to god dang illegals, oh, they want to kick, scream, and make sure these private companies have no business in their state with the federal government. However, if you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you hit that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. Family, thank you all for being here. My mother wanted me to thank each and every one of you for all of your well wishes and all of your prayers. As I stated in the last broadcast, I know when prayers go up, blessings come down, and everything has been coming back negative. They thought that she might have TTP, so they actually been flushing out her blood, cleaning her blood out, replacing 3 units of plasma per day for the past week. And they were doing that just as a precaution, because they didn't want the test to come back to say that she had it, and they wasted all that time. So now that we know that that's negative, she does not suffer from TTP. Now we just got to figure out what caused the whole situation before they release her and let her go home. So much love to each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you, and I thank each and every one of you for sending your well wishes and your prayers up to the Most High, and let the Most High show the hell out like he always show the hell up. With that being said, family, make sure you're back here Sunday, because we're going to be speaking about reparations. Oh, and family, the cost for those who have read the reparations bill that I've written, that's in the description. If you haven't, go read it. You all know that I started, the starting number is $40 trillion. The price have gone up, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters. The price have gone up. And on Sunday, we're going to talk about why the price has gone up. And then Tuesday, make sure that you're here as well. We're going to be doing an interview with our good sister Brooke, and she's going to be bringing some of the truth to light about what's been happening over there with the reparations committee. We were going to do it Saturday. However, Tuesday was a better day for her, so we're going to do it on that Tuesday. We're also going to have, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, family. 1 second. One second here. We're also going to have the president of the Freedmen Project here with us as well. Our good sister Brooke is going to be bringing him by as well. So make sure that you're here on Tuesday. It's going to be 6 p.m. Unfortunately, that's the time she selected. So that's the time we're going to do it. Much love to our sister over there in New York. But with that being said, family, I want each and every one of you to have a beautiful rest of your Friday. I will be in Black Alpha Space. I will not be in the comment section, though. I will be in the back end because I'm driving back up to the hospital after this. But much love to each and every one of you. Thank you for everybody who's donated. And I appreciate you and your contribution as always. And with that being said, family, each and every one of you, make sure to keep your eyes wide and your head on a swivel. Keep your power tools at the ready. Just in general. 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for that, my brother Black Truth, because I would have forgot all about that. I forget that we are different areas, man. I do. But yes, it's going to be 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. But much love to each and every one of you. The doors of the church are now closed. Peace, family.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever can't stand us black people, he's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing, us black people going to survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody. I'm out.